So Colapinto's going to jump up and out of trouble, presumably on this lap. Comes through, gets a little slipstream from Norris.
It comes over the line. That should do it. It does do it. Top 10 for Franco Colapinto. And his joint best qualifying performance last time out in Miami. Perez gets up to 17th.
Pierre Gasly is in trouble here. There's a lot of movement from the back end of Hamilton as well. I wasn't sure if he was going to be pitched into the barrier the way that he snuck that right-hand curb, but he is dialed in, isn't he? It's nice rotation for Lewis Hamilton, who goes to the top. As I was saying, Gasly is on a slow lap right now, and he is slow as it is. He needs something faster. So one more attempt for a man that's been quick, solidly, so much consistency for Alpine, but they're in trouble here.
We've got a red flag. Fernando Alonso is in the wall, trying to hustle that Aston Martin into the next part of sprint qualifying, and Alonso has found the barriers. Lock up and end of the session for Fernando Alonso.
He's, I think, tried to carry supernatural speed into this corner. Big old lock up immediately. So as he's hit the brakes, the fronts have just locked solid. He's on a sensible bit of track when he does it, but the front's just straight into lock.
Yeah, sorry, lock up, mate.
Gasly's looking for a lap. He's not the only one. Sainz pushing on.
9 seconds. It's going to be really touch and go for those further back. Sainz is fine. Stroll is fine.
Wait for the checkered flag graphic. That'll tell you who is out and who is able to get through.
So it's all on Lance Stroll, home hero, to get 2 Aston Martins into SQ2 and one that can actually drive.
9/10 of a second away. Not competitive. And all of that build-up, none of them getting the chance to improve. Heading out, Perez, Stroll. The surprise is Gasly and Bottas, along with Albon and Lawson, who were unable to take part.
Let's see what Bortoleto can do. They're all pitching themselves against Sainz, and Bortoleto now becomes that benchmark man up in 10th position. Last laps for everyone in the drop zone.
Good improvement when he needed to for the 21-year-old Brazilian there. It is very tight right now. Hülkenberg within half a tenth. Ocon 1/10 away. Colapinto thousandths of a second away from Bortoleto's margin. Multiple drivers in the hunt for P10. Hülkenberg over the line, finds it by 300ths of a second. Big improvement late on. Colapinto is in this mix. The Argentinian driver will be the lead Alpine on the grid again, trying to carry forward that momentum from Miami. Here comes Colapinto, and he's 12th. He can't make it. Misses out by 1/10 of a second. Ocon this time. 3/10 of a second adrift. He's P14. Over to Ollie Behrman. Finds himself rotating the car through the chicane. The British driver to the line. Can Behrman find anything? No.
Sainz could, though. He got over the line with about 5 seconds to spare, so he's timed this perfectly, and he is finding a little bit in that first sector. The Williams is coming alive with upgrades that worked in Miami. Sainz is starting to enjoy life in 2026 here. He's got a shot at getting through into the top 10 if he could just nail this final chicane.
Of the last effort that we're going to get in SQ2, Hülkenberg versus Sainz, and it's Carlos Sainz who finds his way through by 400ths of a second. Behrman, with that error, found himself 2.2 away. Multiple cars involved in the battle for 10th, and all of Carlos Sainz's race-winning experience coming through. So Hamilton with the final chicane ahead of him. He's come out of this final chicane plenty of times and seen the checkered flag first. He's chasing the benchmark time here, but Hadjar has actually gone quicker in the first sector than he has managed. Hamilton over the line first. 13.4, you'd expect drivers to be going quicker than that on the soft tyres. Over the line we go with Hadjar, and the French driver did a 13.6. What about Max Verstappen? Plenty of success around this circuit as well. 3-time Grand Prix winner, goes into second. Better in sector 3. George Russell is blitzing the first 2 sectors.
Yeah, he's a long way up on Antonelli as well. 3/10 Russell's ahead of Antonelli in the first part of the lap alone. So Russell might be about to lay down a serious gauntlet behind Lando Norris.
Norris again quick in that final sector of the racetrack, but only 4th behind both Red Bulls. Arvid Lindblad goes ahead of the world champion. And here's Russell then to the line. On pole a couple of times before when it comes to the Grand Prix format. He's 2/10 clear of Lewis Hamilton, who is on for that sprint front row at the moment. Piastri is only P5. Tyre temperature crucial. What can the second Ferrari do? Charles Leclerc chasing his teammate so far in this session, and that story continues. He's P6 at the moment. Here's the World Championship leader, goes into third, and it's Russell, Hamilton, and Antonelli. Russell with 2/10 over his old teammate and 3/10 over his current teammate.
This is Hamilton with that confidence to be flicking the rear out like he used to do in the early days. He's a little bit deep, I think, into the hairpin. Was that him waving goodbye to a good exit there by just having to do too much cornering too late? Verstappen's right up to the wall, picture in picture coming out of 8 as well. Oh, but he's missed a bit in the middle sector.
It's a better first sector for Lando Norris. He's only 500ths away from the benchmark in the first part of the lap. Hamilton has been wringing the neck of that scarlet Ferrari. It's been entertaining to watch trackside. There's no improvement. He's only a 10th away. Improvement of time, but not position for Hamilton, who's been competitive all the way through. Lando Norris in the mix for a front row start as it stands. And he is slightly deep, fighting the car through the turn 10 hairpin. On board with Max Verstappen, he improves his time, but he stays P4.
It's a short lap, the times are closed. Lindblad's doing a great job, that's why he's popping up on our times at the moment ahead of Norris. But what can Norris do in the final sector? Russell trying to improve, Antonelli improving, but he's a long way adrift in the first sector.
Through the dust goes Lando Norris. Is there a time good enough to climb to provisional sprint pole? No, but it's good enough to climb to the front row. Lindblad goes over the line, goes to P8, and George Russell loves this circuit. That story continues once again. He's on sprint pole as it stands by 3/10 of a second. Oscar Piastri is next to cut the beam. He goes into third. Both McLarens improving on that second run.
Leclerc's lap is not that tidy through the first 2 parts and is not that great overall either. Antonelli's right out towards the wall on the exit.
Giving it everything. Can he join his teammate on the front row? The answer is yes. Crucial lap for the World Championship leader. And after all of the excitement, it's a Mercedes 1-2. The smile says everything from Toto Wolff, but it's Russell ahead of Antonelli in what so many are calling a pivotal race in the World Championship battle. The sprint race will begin. Russell 8 meters ahead of Kimi Antonelli.
Yeah, that was Hamilton a little bit deep into the hairpin, and he's going to lose all the way out on the exit there. So still ahead of Leclerc, but I think that is a missed opportunity for Lewis Hamilton, the way that he's been driving today.
Nice job, mate. So that's P1.
Nice.
Well done, George. Well done, George.
Thank you, Toto. Thank you, Toto.
No problem, no problem.
George Russell, back to the front in Formula One. Crucial result for him. It's only minor, but if he converts that tomorrow, he is back in the fight after a tough time in Miami. Beat his teammate by 600ths of a second. That's what decided it.